Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server with our level 19 Stalker, Shrike. There's 104,000 experience right now, 22,000 to go to get to level 20, and we have 288,000 information. And we're on a story arc with the Dark Watcher, and we're dealing with the fact that evil statesman Emperor Cole from this world is trying to invade the Prime Earth world, which is where Paragon City is. And so we're going to be trying to deal with that. And he says there's no time to lose, Shrike. I've analyzed the situation you're walking into. I believe Tor Barry is becoming more suspicious that there may be trouble brewing around his tower. This does not mean that we should not take the fight to him, but you will have to be careful. We have to put the system in Barry's tower on alert. According to Sheridan, this will leave a bit of a hole in the defenses for his virus. It would appear Barry is not a man who designs all technology perfectly. To do this, you will have to attack some of his clockwork. This in itself should not be too hard, but I suspect that Barry has put into place special defenses. So what should we suspect? And he says, I have no idea. I still have not found James Noble, given that he went missing around the same time as Aaron Walker. I can only assume that Praetor Barry has retrieved his former experiment and put him to work, per se. This seems like it would be the exact opportunity to use to test out Noble's new powers. Be careful, Shrike. You fight under the looming shadow of Praetor Barry's tower. It will not be an easy fight by any means. And so we are going to assault the tower. So here we go. Given the way this is going, I suspect there's at least one more story arc to go after this. I gotta tell you guys, look how pretty this is. This plaza. They did a really nice job modeling this zone. I absolutely love it. I have to say, I'm glad they didn't completely reskin Paragon City after they did this, because Paragon City is classic, and I love the way that looks too. And whoever designed Paragon City did a really nice job of designing the city, but I really like the texturing and stuff in these new zones. It's very pretty. So let's see, what do we do now? I love this DNA sculpture. This is so cool. Look how metallic it looks. It's really nicely done. So the tower looms in front of us. That one, I guess. We have to defeat 20 clockworks. Okay. So this is interesting. This is like the equivalent of an outdoor street mission, but we're doing it in an instance mission. Okay, that guy's going to jump up, so I'm not going to go chase him. I'll just kill this guy. He'll come back down. Yeah, see, he fell off. I'm still forgetting to use that focus as I head in. I mean, it doesn't like really matter that much, but it's just a lot more efficient to do it that way. So guys, as we go through this mission, oh wow, we've got a bunch of inspirations we probably don't need. As we go through this mission, I'd like to have a little bit of a conversation. This would have been, I don't know, probably about 10 days ago by the time I post this, but on, I think it was a 13th or 14th episode. I love doing crits. Somebody made a comment, and it was a fair enough comment, that I was doing a lot of complaining about various different things like knockdown and mez and the +1 missions when I didn't ask for them, and mission level designs and stuff. So I hadn't really been thinking about, the effect of doing that in different missions, right? It's sometimes days in between when I videotape, and so I don't always remember that I've said these things before, and not necessarily keeping track of, everything I'm saying as I go. I'm going to try not to be quite so complainy, even if I'm not enjoying something. Made a couple mistakes with this. I think one of the main mistakes was probably doing Pretoria at all. I wanted to do it because I haven't done the Praetorian stuff on video, And I thought it would be more interesting than watching me do Paragon City again. What I hadn't thought about was I could have done the villain stuff. I mean, this is a Stalker. Stalkers, by default, are a villain archetype. I could have just done the villain stuff with this character, which I don't like as much as the hero stuff, but I like better than the Praetorian stuff. So I could have done that. On the other hand, it's probably better that we did the Praetorian stuff with a Stalker than just about anybody else, because at least I could use Hide to bypass things I didn't want to do. So in any case, if people have been, getting annoyed at the constant kvetching, I'll try to do less of that. I do think it's worthwhile to critique things, even though the game is not live anymore and it's not going to lead to any changes. It never really led to any changes anyway. Statesman in particular was notoriously resistant to a lot of changes, and in fact, most of the quality of life changes that players were asking for when Statesman was the lead developer did not happen until Positron became the lead developer and Statesman was off working on what eventually became Champions Online. Because there were just some things that Statesman absolutely did not want to allow. So back in those days, we would make comments and they weren't listened to anyway. I think it's perfectly reasonable to critique something, but it's not necessarily a good idea to constantly complain. I do hate being mezzed, and I was getting very frustrated by that. One of the problems is I was just thinking more like a scrapper than a stalker, and I didn't realize how far. I just didn't look and think about how far down in the power tree integration was. If I had realized that, I would have been more prepared for it. And so what was happening is from like level 10 on, every time I got a new power, I was like, oh good, I can get integration now. And then it was like, oh no, I can't. And I was used to having integration from level 10 as a scrapper. So anyway, I apologize if I've been annoying people with the complaining, and I won't do that anymore. We're almost done with this mission. Now that's interesting. That one saw me from that far away, huh? That's pretty long aggro distance. So it seems like maybe just if these two are like leashed together, as they call it, they're from the same spawn, maybe they figure it out. I don't know. 4 to go. I wonder how many of them there actually are. There's a whole lot more than the 20. It looks like. Yeah, because there's 4 just right here, and there's more over in the other spots, so. Alright, let's get ahead and do the assassin. And then we'll shoot this guy. I absolutely love that knockdown. You wouldn't hear as much complaining from me no matter what, because I have integration now. So I'm not going to be getting mezzed. As you can see, our mezz defense is now 6.7. As I said, leveling up, you get a little bit more resistance per level. So, normally mezz has magnitudes 1, 2, or 3. The majority of villain mezzes are 2 or 3. A lot of them are 3. Sometimes the high-ranked enemies have a 6, or possibly even a 7 or 8. So the idea is once your mezz defense gets over like 10, it's pretty much never going to be overwhelmed. But even at 6, it mostly won't get overwhelmed. If we get hit by like an elite boss with a stacked mezz where he does 2 at once, like say this guy did like 3 stuns on me at once, the third one would overwhelm me. Alright, so we're going to be able to assassinate this guy, but we don't have any extra damage. I'm going to go ahead and take some dodge. I want to make absolutely sure we hit him. And we're going to use our build-up and do a nasty assassination. Followed up with focus. It's not going to knock him down because he's a boss and they're resistant to it. But you can see what a huge lead we get when we do assassination. So now we need to defeat Maelstrom at the top of the tower. Aren't we at the top of the tower? Oh no, there's something above us. Okay, so are there any clues? Not really. So is this going to bring us up or down? We're back down, so we got to go up somehow. Alright, let's try going back up. Maybe there's another door. Yeah, okay. Are we at the top yet? We're not quite at the top. That's Maelstrom. Ah, we're both stealthed. Whose stealth is more powerful? You call that stealth? You're like that Crocodile Dundee joke, right? You call that a knife? No, this is a knife. You call that stealth? No, this is stealth. Alright, so we don't have our Lux, but I'm going to go ahead and use build up. Come on. And again, try to take a big lead in the attack. We have a lot of heals so that if he starts doing a lot of damage to us, we can heal up, but I don't think he's going to get a chance. And now we need to upload the virus into a crate. That's a little weird. This should be a computer, no? And we have completed the story arc. We're now at level 19.2, 8/10 of the way from level 20, and we completed the mission. So let's see what happens here. I don't know if we're going to get another contact. I think we should, because there, at least on the Loyalist side, there is definitely a moment where Evil Statesman tries to invade, and you end up going to Paragon City. Wow. Wow. 6,000 XP for one mission. That puts us almost at 19.5. He says you've performed admirably, Tiger Shrike. Neuron's tower has been disabled, preventing Cole from launching his attack before we're ready for it. Longbow's made aware of your actions, and they're in your debt. So, as for myself, I have one last task for you before you move on. One that will ensure the help of a group called Vanguard. So, Vanguard are also law enforcement in Paragon City. So now we have another finale. This is weird. We've struck a blow against Cole's invasion, but now we must move quickly to strike another. I am sure you're aware of the ever-looming presence of Enrich. Are you not? No. I am sure you are aware that this is no normal water. There are special chemicals within Enrich that help placate people, make them less suspicious of the goings-on. This is why there can be outbreaks of monsters in Neutropolis, and people simply take the word of the PPD and Barry that they will address it. It will make things rather difficult for our allies to fight Cole if he still has the support of the people. I shall be honest and upfront with you, Tiger Shrike. I am part of an organization called Vanguard. We handle interdimensional threats. The head of it, Lady Grey, has stated that Vanguard only has the resources to fight one war against Emperor Cole, and that is a war of combat. We do not have the time to fight a war of public relations. You are going to have to help. So how do I help? He says, we need Calvin Scott himself. We have discovered a way into the main water pumping station for the enriched chemicals. Meet with Calvin Scott and do what you can to give him support. Once Enrich is destroyed, I will be able to have Vanguard move its supplies. I estimate people in Pretoria will have about 5 to 6 months with unclean, impure water. This is just the nature of things. You see, Enrich Factory is the main and last source of clean water in Pretoria due to all the fallout from the Hamadan Wars. However, once the Vanguard has established a base of operations in the tunnels, we will be able to give people clean water. Okay. So we now have a single-player mission. This is so if we were grouped up, we wouldn't be able to do it together, where we have to go to Nova Pretoria and destroy the Enrich plant. So we're going to have to take a trip on the train, which is over here. Yeah, this is a really nice zone. I really like it. The music is quite nice too. It's a little different in tone from the more playful music that you get in City of Heroes, like in Paragon City. I do love the Paragon City music though. It's wonderful. Atlas Park in particular. Oh man, when the game came back and you could log into the private server and people were like making videos, like live streaming them playing the game for the first time in 7 years, and I watched a video of a guy who had posted it like the day before, and he got logged into the game and went into Atlas Park, and the Atlas Park music started to play. I was like, oh man, it's really cool. I love that music. That's some of my favorite music in the game. It just feels very heroic and hopeful. Yeah, they did such a nice job on all the aesthetic aspects of this game. It's very pretty for its time, and even for now, it's a very pretty game. It's got nice music, it's got nice visuals, it's wonderful special effects. I love the special effects, like the running. It looks really cool. The only thing I wish they would have done with super speed is to make it sound like the Roadrunner. You know, like where he has like a little, almost like a jet engine sound when he's running along the road. And I would love it if they did that. But I think even if they had originally done it, they would have taken it off, because people don't like persistent sounds in the game. And what they did eventually was, anytime you have like a toggle on or whatever, it makes its initial sound, and then over about 30 seconds it'll slowly fade, and then you don't hear it anymore. So like you hear the whoa, 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 whoa of integration, but that will eventually fade and you won't hear it anymore. Right? It's fading, and now it's mostly gone. And the reason is people just didn't want to have to hear that all the time. I actually didn't mind it, but some people really hated it. Another interesting thing that they did, so what are we doing here? Is this the plant? We stand here, Tiger Shrike, on the brink of a massive event. Today, we will bring an end to the placation of the people. With Enrich gone, people will once again be fully aware that the world is destroyed around them. Life will be harder, yes, but such is the consequence of being freed, of living your own life. The people of Pretoria will learn to think on their own and live on their own. And then we shall bring down Cole once and for all. So we're going to destroy the Enrich. And so now we have to click on these chemicals. Is anybody attacking me? No. I assume there's going to be a fight at some point. We have to arm 3 more bombs. This is 1. There's a computer up there too. I assume we're going to have to grab that. Or maybe that's for if you chose the other side. Of course, if you chose the other side, you're probably going to fight him and disarm the bombs. So, I don't know. Wow. I was sure I was going to fight somebody in here. Huh. Okay. Wow, we got... Look at this, we're almost another... That's just really a lot of experience for just clicking on barrels. Oh my gosh. We're going to just gain a whole level for doing almost nothing. This must be... My guess is they want you to be 20th level when you leave, no matter what, and so they just pretty much insist. What's going on here? Did you ever hear of Tribe? Maybe Threat Response Battalion? They were the elite military units that fought back during the Hamadan Wars. No superpowers, just the best of the best with the highest grade military hardware they could get their hands on. Alright, so he says Neuron recruited them for one of his experiments, and the only one to survive was Crow. As you can imagine, he's pretty dead set on avenging his fallen comrades. Crow is the next contact in the Crusader storyline for the Resistance. Crusaders are ruthless members of the Resistance. Like, do we do this? It feels like there should be another part to the overall storyline. Maybe we gotta be level 20 first? I guess we can do the Crusader thing. I mean, may as well. I'm not going to be back to Pretoria ever again, so I may as well do it. Alright. It's only 19 minutes in. Let's get a start. We need to go back to Neutropolis. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, look at all these enhancements. Excellent. So we can reduce the endurance on this power. This is great. we can buff this up so that it stays current. Oh man, guys, look at this. So we can take this out of here and replace it with the DO. Look at this, we haven't even had to buy the DOs. They're just coming to me. That is great. They're just dropping for me. Salvage, what do we got? Nothing? Wow, we don't have a single salvage and we don't have any recipes. I mean, I did just sell them, but I'm surprised nothing dropped in those last 2 story arcs. Not that I care. Doesn't matter too much. Okay, so back to Metropolis. Yeah, so one of the things I did want to actually go back and revisit something I said earlier. At one point I was talking about when we were fighting 80 enemies with Noble helping us, I think. I talked about how I had done the Incarnate stuff. Not the Incarnate Trials, it's a totally different thing. But I had done the Incarnate, you know, creating the Incarnate powers and stuff with Silver Phoenix. And I had said that I didn't really like it. And I wasn't planning to do it again, but since I didn't get to show that on my Silver Phoenix videos, I was going to do it again here. I want to clarify like what I didn't like, right? I don't mind the powers, whatever, you know. I feel like they do make you a little overpowered, and that's fine. You can just bump up the mission difficulty. But one of the things I didn't like when I was playing Silver Phoenix is just what they're doing to your character in the story. So what you got to understand is Silver Phoenix is my main and pretty much my only roleplay character on the roleplay server for Homecoming. She's my main character. I use her on my supergroup, and I roleplay her. And my concept for her is basically she's a really good kung fu artist, right? And she manipulates chi and everything, but she doesn't have cosmic level superpowers. She's just a street hero, pretty much. And yes, by level 50, she's a very powerful street hero, and she's beating up people like Nemesis. But she's still just beating them up by kicking and punching them, right? She's not, you know, Thor level. And one of the issues with the Incarnate Trials is they're turning you into essentially a demigod. And I felt like that wasn't appropriate for Silver Phoenix. But I don't really care for this character what's appropriate because we're not really role-playing her, right? We're just playing the game. So that aspect of it I don't mind at all. So she says, mutual friends told me to be expecting you. She hands me a slip of paper. Meet with Crow. Now go to Underground Metropolis. Okay. So yeah, you know, in retrospect, and I think I said this in the Silver Phoenix videos that I couldn't post, in retrospect, it was probably a bad idea to use my primary roleplay character, my main character, for doing Let's Play videos. I should have just said, I'm going to just use solo characters for that. But at the time I started making the videos, I really was just playing her. And I really wasn't necessarily planning to do a lot of other videos. I don't need to beat these guys up, right? I'm just trying to meet with Crow. Let's see which way we want to go here. We want to... Okay, so we got to follow the green. This is the way to go. So yeah, I wasn't really planning to do a lot of different stuff with a lot of different characters. I was just going to do the Scrapper to level 50 and stop, but I was enjoying making the Let's Plays so much that, you know, I decided to keep going and make Tanker and all this other stuff, videos. And so, all, you know, Tanker videos, Scrapper videos, Stalker videos. So, in any case, we'll get to see the Incarnate Trials, the Incarnate stuff, not the Trials. Not the Trials, that's something different, but the Incarnate powers and the content, other than the Trials, the content for this character. And we won't do it with probably any of the others. Alright, so, our character, our Praetor White says, I hope you don't mind the stink. Or Crow, sorry, says, I hope you don't mind the stink, because where we're going to be knee-deep in it. What are we doing? He says, it's a path of vengeance. Do you wish to walk the path of retribution and death and blood? Okay. What are your missions? This is not a test. I used to walk the path of vengeance alone. I didn't think you could walk it any other way, or maybe I didn't want to see anyone else on the path. Regardless, that's how I met Scott. He found me, brought me here, gave me a purpose, and then saw the path of vengeance wasn't a path at all. It was a river. Each one of us here is a trickle leading to it. So he says, enough about me. Scott's got me running escort duty for a VIP. Only this guy, we aren't smuggling him out of Pretoria, we're smuggling him in. And so he told me to be ready for anything. If Cole's loyalists caught wind of what we're doing, they're going to take a shot at him. So we have to smuggle this VIP through the tunnels. Okay. So is this going to be an outdoor mission? It can't be. It's got to be an indoor mission. There's no way they'd give you an NPC following you outside. I don't think I've ever seen that in COH. So what's the difference between the incarnate content and the incarnate trials? So the incarnate content is just, you do some missions and you gain these abilities, incarnate abilities. Wow, this is way more than they have on Homecoming. I feel like Genesis, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like this one, Genesis, Vitae, Mind, and Omega were never developed. Yeah, you can see there's only 6 of them that were ever developed. And so basically what happens is you gain like this incarnate experience, which is not regular experience, after you're level 50. After you unlock the alpha slot, then you can pick one of these abilities, and we'll have to decide which one we want. You can pick any of them. You can actually level more than one of them, but you can only equip one of them at a time, and there's 4 different tiers. And so what happens is once you start unlocking them, you just gain the incarnate experience, and you start adding those powers. And that stuff, that stuff is fine. I felt like it didn't fit for Silver Phoenix because she's not a goddess. Okay. But that part is fine. Oh, the VIP died. Who is the VIP? Arachnos. Oh, this is some Arachnos guy. Are you going to talk to me? Are you going to notice this? Do you see him? What's going on? So that, anyway, this stuff is incarnate kind of content, if you want to call it that. But there are also trials, these really hard task forces that are called the incarnate trials or the I trials. It's a series of increasingly hard task forces, I guess, that you have to do with multiple groups of 8. I think it's 3 groups of 8. So you have to have a lot of people and coordinate them all. So I've never done that. The VIP and everyone escorting him is dead. We check for clues. We aren't sure who this person or his escort were, but they apparently were heavily armed with automatic weapons and advanced armor. We examine the bodies, and 2 of the soldiers have bullet wounds in the backs of their heads, extremely close range, but not point blank. Whoever shot them got the drop on them. 2 others must have got shot as they turned to face their attacker. The remaining 3 were hit with high-powered blasts, obviously from PPD power gauntlets. It looks like the VIP put up much greater fight. Over half dozen bullet wounds and numerous burns. And now we're being ambushed. Alright. Whoops. I don't know if we're going to be able to save Crow here. But we'll try. I don't know if they're going to just keep coming. If they do, we're just going to need to get out of here. And I don't have any area effect attacks that I can help him with. Yeah, he's about to die, so... Is Crow gone yet? No, he's still up. Wow. My super speed's on. No wonder my endurance is getting killed. Okay, well, Crow got killed. But we're holding our own, alright? Yeah, we're definitely going to need to slot stamina. Or not slot, we've slotted it. We're going to need to put stuff in it. You know, puts enhancements in it. Alright, well, Heat Crow's gone, so we can just head out. They're not going to be able to keep up with me because of super speed. It's a shame we couldn't protect Crow. I got pretty close to protecting him, but couldn't save him from everybody. So now we have to go back. It looks like. So this way. Oh yeah, it's right here. I wonder if he made it out or if it's going to tell me he died. I don't think it's going to say he died. Is it contact? Contacts usually don't get permanently wiped out. So we're probably going to end this particular episode here. Right? We've been going for 30 minutes. He says, that man got killed down there. The one we were supposed to escort. In case you hadn't guessed, he's not from around here, according to Scott. He's found help on an alternate Earth, and these dudes are called Arachnos. Scott says they're really powerful, but that assassination might have ruined any chance of getting Arachnos' good side. So, we'll continue this story arc next time. I am Scarperlock, and this has been City of Heroes on the Rebirth server.